a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's hang out and let's chat about Freemasonry. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral, let me know. And I hope that you guys are all doing well. My cat's over here. Maybe I can see if I can get a good shot of the cat for you guys, because everybody's always asking to see Bandit. For the time being, though, let's wait to see who joins. 1 a.m. live stream. I do these streams 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. So today is officially, hi Bandit, the final day of the push-up challenge. I've been doing 2,000 push-ups over 23 days. Today, February 27th at 10 a.m. Eastern, I will be doing 150 push-ups, excuse me, and that's the final day of the push-up challenge. I hope you guys will join me 10 a.m. Eastern. I hope you guys will hang out with me, maybe do some push-ups with me or other exercises, and I hope you all are doing well. Let's get a bit of time and let's see who joins. For the time being, though, jump in the chat. Please say hello. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral, please let me know. Uh, as you know, I've been a Freemason for about 20 years, which is crazy to think it's been that long. By the way, the submissions are now available or now open for the AVDA Awards, the Arcana Veritas Distinction Awards. If you've written a paper or a book about Freemasonry within the, well, whenever really, but you've written something and you want to have it nominated for the Arcana Veritas Distinction Awards because you believe it provides valuable information, insights, knowledge, perspectives on Freemasonry, whether it be Masonic history, Masonic growth, Masonic development, or anything else Masonic related. Check out the Arcana Veritas Distinction Awards ceremony. Nominations are now open, so I hope you guys will check that out. And in the meantime, please jump in the chat, say hello. I also took a few moments to share what on social media my nomination or my submission to the Arcana Veritas Awards. It's a paper I wrote a couple years ago regarding personality assessments and positive Masonic performance. For the time being, though, let's wait to see who joins. Jump in the chat and say hello. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for being here. I hope you guys are enjoying my 1 a.m. live stream. We're just hanging out. Any questions about Freemasonry? Hello, Forever Black Music. Please hit like and subscribe. Music is proof that God loves us and wants us to be happy. Hello, Faisal551. Hello, Ryan Thompson. Yes, I got a big nose, Jerry. Please hit like and subscribe. I very much appreciate it. And I hope you guys are doing well. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Any thoughts on Freemasonry? Positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear them. We're just gonna hang out for a bit. I don't for these 1 a.m. streams, I don't have any specific topics. I just hang out. I love apples, even dem apples. Please hit like and subscribe, Taco Truck. So underrated God. You know what's not underrated? Hitting the like and subscribe button. Freemasons do not. Now, I did a podcast episode about this, or a live stream about this a couple weeks ago now. If you go and you search the Epstein files for the word Freemasonry, it pops up 11 times, the term. Primarily in historical context, there's no indication, for example, that Epstein was a Mason or he ever had any Masons on his island. It seems like mostly he was interested in Freemasonry because the father of chiropractic, a guy who passed away in 1913, was a Freemason. So 100 and something years before Epstein Island was a thing. It's primarily referenced in historical documents, not that any modern Freemasons visited the island. Let the conspiracies begin, indeed. Clown shoes, I have no idea. I've never heard of that. I have no idea what you're referring to. But if anyone is involved in drug trafficking, whether it be Scottish Rite or anything else, they should go to jail. Yes, I got a big nose, patiently happy. Hit the like and subscribe button. I do not know when the crooks began. Uh, well, whatever Joe Rogan, just because Joe Rogan says something, that doesn't mean it means anything. I did an episode about it a few weeks ago. There's no indication that Epstein was, or anyone involved with Epstein was a Freemason. So Joe Rogan can say what he wants. He's mostly full of baloney, anyways, at least in my opinion. Um, who's Perry? I'm not sure who that is. Hello, SG. Please hit like and subscribe. I would truly, truly appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. These 1 a.m. streams, I don't have any specific comments or topics, I should say. Rather, it's kind of just an Ask Us Anything hangout stream. Um, Captain Save. Well, sometimes I'm confident. What can I say? He wasn't a Mason. That's my point. Epstein was not a Mason. Um, no, Iron P. I've not heard of any or seen any evidence that there were any. I do not know who that is. Do you think Canada importing LNG? I do not know what LNG is. I mean, I have no issue with importing anything necessarily from Australia. I think Australia is a great country, and I believe in free trade. I think trade benefits or trade deals are usually the sign of a healthy country as opposed to a failing country. Liquefied natural. I mean, I don't know enough about energy extraction to necessarily say, but what's wrong with trade deals with other countries? There are some movie star Freemasons, but very few. The most well-known and famous Freemason, who's a celebrity, not a movie star, is Brad Paisley, I think. I mean, Richard Dreyfuss is a Freemason. Um, Well, don't do that, patiently happy. That's not a nice thing to do. Melanin Dude, please hit like and subscribe. I mean, I don't know enough about it to say. My natural inclination, though, is to always say I will always support trade deals with other countries. I think human beings should have the right to sell their goods and services and products around the world. And I think one of the goals of governance, and this is my personal opinion, this is not a Masonic opinion, should be to try to limit the barriers, thereby allowing trade to flow freely as well as services if possible. Um, well, we do not have gods. We do not have Kabbalist gods or any other types of gods. Freemasonry is not a religion. So there are no Masonic gods, despite what you may think. 3933. And I don't know enough about the fracking process to say. Obviously, I think, again, this is me speaking personally. I think we have a responsibility within, to balance and promote economic growth while also respecting environmental concerns. I know it's a very general statement, but the truth is, I've not thought a lot about fracking and whether it's positive or negative. Well, Legend, I appreciate that. I hope you'll send me a subscription and a super chat of 99 cents. Stuff like that helps big times as well. Big time in terms of sharing the channel with others. Um, Melanin, okay. I mean, when you say you've been trying to join Freemasonry, going to the lodge, what do you mean by that? Are you going to their public events, their dinners? Are you meeting with them? What does it mean when you say going to the lodge? Well, then I appreciate you being a subscriber, Legend, and I appreciate you being here. Um, so, Melanin, what do you mean by going to the lodge? Because certainly that's great, and I'm glad that you're going to the lodge. I'm just curious, are you going to their events, their dinners, meeting with guys, or are you going to visit with them? When you say apprentice, do you mean entered apprentice? Because then you'd already be a Freemason. Or are you applying to be? Or do you mean apprentice in terms of like the professional component, like a stonemason apprentice? Freemasonry, I'm referring to the civic group or the civic community group, not the professional group. Well, I mean, we wouldn't call them civilians, they would just be non members. You're certainly allowed to knock on the door, express your interest in joining Freemasonry, and talk to them about the process and get to know the guys. A lot of Masonic lodges will hold open houses, will hold special events, will hold public dinners just to introduce themselves to the community and allow people to learn more about them and the craft. Someone mentoring me. Melanin, it's weird the process. I mean, if you're an entered apprentice, then certainly you can be mentored. If you're not joined yet, it's a strange process you're going through. I've never heard of that before. I'm not really sure how it works. The normal process is if you're interested in joining, you approach the Masonic Lodge, you express your interest in joining. You can either write them a letter, send them an email, or even just approach the lodge itself and see if anybody's there. They'll meet with you, get to know you, talk to you. You get to know them as well. And eventually they will give you an application. After you complete that application, if it's a successful vote, you will become an entered apprentice at that point. Yes, I did. Thank you for being here, Kabulakan. I will say I had an incredible time in the Philippines last year. I am thinking about trying to go back this year to Tagaytay for the um, Grand Lodge annual communication. I don't know 100% yet if I'll be there or not, but believe me, I'd love to go. It's on my list. It'd be incredible. I love Manila. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And to get the chance to go to Tagaytay would be equally as beautiful. Um, Calgary is incredible. I love Calgary. Great city. When I say great country, great city and a great province. Um, Big balls. I mean, I'm a fan of nuclear energy as a general rule. I think nuclear energy will help usher in a greener future. Please hit like and subscribe. Um, I would very much appreciate it. Well, you do you, Yakub. I don't think you're going to have a more successful, I guess, country if you separate. But I guess everybody's entitled to their own opinions, even though I'd find that one a more foolish opinion. Freemasonry, there are probably some Freemasons in Alberta who support separation and some who are opposed to it, I would suppose. Um, well, we'll see. I mean, I guess if Yakub has his way, it's separating, but my suspicion is there won't be any happier separating because when it comes to Yakub, he seems like the type of guy who just won't be happy, period, right? Um, you can separate, you can stay together if you're not satisfied with the Liberal government in Canada presently. I doubt you'll be satisfied with an Alberta government. Usually, cynicism and unhappiness tends to follow the person, whether they separate or not. Um, Whether it's gay or not would not make a difference to being a Freemason, big balls. You can be gay or straight and still be a Freemason. It's irrelevant to the question of Freemasonry. I rest 5449. Thank you for being here. Thank you for saying that. There are many Freemasons who are Christian. There are many who are Muslim, Jewish. Freemasonry is not a religion. But I appreciate you saying that very much. I hope you'll take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button. Um, well, I'll take that, Maz. And most people say I look ugly. So if you say I look fine, I'll take it. Better than looking ugly. Or people telling me I look ugly, that's for sure. Um, I am a Freemason. I've been a Freemason for just about 20 years. I've been to over 1,000 Masonic events around the world, including in the Philippines. I started Square and Compass Promotions to talk about Freemasonry, how much I love Freemasonry, and to try to turn my passion for Freemasonry into a profession. So I do a lot of live streams where I just take questions from people. Read my comments. I'm a subscriber. I paid. Um, I see your comments, but you say Yaqub is a nation of Islam. I have no idea if that's true or not. Um, I mean, in terms of race, I'm a Freemason, which means I don't believe that any one race is better or worse than the others. I choose to be, not just tolerant, but respectful of the brotherhood, whether it be you're my brother if you're Jewish, black, white, Asian, Indian, whatever it might be. You're still my brother, and I still approach you the same way I would approach any other brother, right? That's the beautiful thing about Freemasonry is the tolerance for different races, religions, creeds, ethnicities that it demonstrates and that it shows. Yeah, humanist. Am I Prince Hall Mason? No, I am not, but Prince Hall is a wonderful part of Freemasonry and a wonderful part of the Masonic family, without a doubt. Well, I have no idea, but whatever they may claim, I mean, I think all humans evolved from a common ancestors in Africa, what, like 3 million years ago, something like that. Prince Hall. Prince Hall is just a Masonic order. It was started in 17. I always forget the year, so please forgive me. I think 1778 by a gentleman named Prince Hall, who at the time had been declined membership in a lodge in Boston because of his race. So he chose to basically, through dispensation in first Ireland and then England, start his own Masonic organization and Masonic lodge named African Lodge Number One for black men who were trying to join Freemasonry but were facing discrimination. Um, we do not bank money in Freemasonry. I don't know what that means. We have dues we collect. Um, Hello, Rebel Duster. How's it going? Thank you for being here. I think people under 30 will be able to afford a house. I was able to afford it. I was going to say I was able to afford a house when I was under 30, but I guess that's not true. I was 35 when I could afford a house. But I think some people will be able to. I think there's lots of challenges as well. I think the fact that people are finding it harder and harder to afford houses is one reason why Freemasonry is struggling. I talked about that in a stream a few weeks, well, I guess it would be on Tuesday actually, after the State of the Union, right? When Donald Trump is talking about affordability, one of the things that matters to is Freemasonry because as necessities become less affordable, as housing becomes less affordable, Freemasonry for more and more people, more and more young men will be put on the back burner as they focus on their finances. Um, Fly, Eagles, fly. You can think whatever you want, but you have to hit the like and subscribe button. I am not 60 years old. Jesus. Heavens. Yeah, I shouldn't say that name. Forgive me. That's rude to take the Lord's name like that for Christians, but I'm definitely not 60. Good heavens. Thank you, Legend. You're much closer. I'm 42. I'm 42 years old. Which first person is not a terrible idea. I get the idea. Well, I may act like I'm 60 because I must be wise beyond my years, but I'm definitely not 60. But thank you for making me feel old. I'm gonna dye my hair or something. Um, so yes, Legend Jesus, you got it close, and I appreciate that. You're nicer to me than Yakub, that's for sure. Um, well, Skull and Bones. Um, I don't like aging as quickly as I am either. I miss being younger. Skull and Bones refers to a fraternity out of Yale University. I think it's out of Yale. I know that George Bush Sr. and Jr. were both members, but it's not connected to Freemasonry. They're different organizations. Yes, no. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Welcome, Courtney. Thank you for being here. That's very kind of you. Oops. Nice. I heard that the new Resident Evil came out. I'm curious. Scholastic, I don't know what that means. Please hit like and subscribe. Um, I don't know. I do not know what 322 is, so I have no idea. As a general rule, like what you do, Freemasons can join different groups. Now, if the group is illegal or immoral, then Freemasons shouldn't be joining it. And if they're joining a group that's doing illegal activities, they would be kicked out of Freemasonry. But I don't know what 322 is, so I have no clue. Um, I've never heard of a ley lined seasoned troll. Well, actually, I shouldn't have said I've heard of ley lines. I don't know what they are. I've never heard of them in a Masonic context, so I cannot not help you with that at all. Oof, I'm very sorry you have to wait a month because it looks good, I will say. I don't have a PS5 to play it. I have a PS3, but it does look really good. Um, Adam G. Darth, please hit like and subscribe. Do I have a spare bedroom? Why are you asking if I have a spare bedroom or not? Um, Legend. Well, give me a super chat and maybe I will. I mean, those things are not cheap, and my PS3 does good by me already. So, yes, it is. Please hit like and subscribe. I've never, I mean, again, a ley line, I've heard of them, but I don't know precisely what they are, and I never heard of them in relation to Freemasonry. So, you can believe me or not, either one is perfectly fine, but there you go. Um, can I say elbows up? I can say elbows up, but I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I mean, I know the expression, right? Carney was saying it. It was a very common expression during the election. I mean, I believe in elbows up in general. I've always said, though, we also have to be really careful that we in Canada don't conflate or equate the people of the states, and certainly our Masonic brothers, with the governance of the state. You can love Donald Trump or hate Donald Trump. I'm more on the latter than the former, but I'm not going to sever my ties with the people of America or with my Masonic brethren. I still love the country. I still think they're incredible neighbors. And whatever the issues that we're facing right now with politics, those will go away sooner or later. Um, well, just power to everybody. How about that? And respect to everybody. That's what I would say. Bartholomew. Again, I'm not sure what a ley line is precisely. I don't know if it's some type of geological feature that people believe has magical powers, or if it's a completely supernatural phenomenon, which I don't believe in the supernatural, so I would not believe they exist. Hello, MMT Traveling Man. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I don't know enough about the Golden Dawn. 12th State Tactical. There are no humiliation rituals, and there should be no hazing. If there is, then that group should be kicked out of Freemasonry, if they ever were any hazing rituals or humiliation rituals. I've been to over 1,000 Masonic events all around the world, from the Philippines to Rio to Bogota to Canada. Never seen any examples of quote unquote humiliation rituals. I suppose in some ways you could argue there's an element of humility that you're required to have to be a Freemason, but we don't try to enforce that on people. It's just having a level of humility helps you learn, right? Because you reach a point where you understand you don't know everything. And as a consequence of that, you're more likely to maintain your curiosity and desire joining and staying active. At least that has been my experience, for whatever it's worth. So they do not have humiliation rituals. Like I said, Legend Jesus, you got to listen, you got to pay attention. They do not have humiliation rituals within Freemasonry. Again, a certain level of humility is helpful to have a successful Masonic career, but you can't really force that onto people. You have to just hope that people have it before they join. Haloix, yes, please hit like and subscribe. I mean, Yakub, my experience is people who loathe things like the country loathe everything. I mean, one of my favorite expressions is boring people get bored, loathsome people loathe things, right? You tend to reflect things. So if you're bored in life, it's probably because you're a boring person. If you are, loathful of things, it's probably because you're a loathful person or a loathsome person. Um, Diesel, you're on your own. Please hit like and subscribe. I'm a part of 5 Masonic lodges. The one I just got my certificate for, actually. Lodge Holy Land number 50 out of Israel, which I'm very proud to be a member of. Also Tranquility Lodge. I'm also the Worshipful Master of Border Cities Lodge number 554. Well, that is very true, A.E. Yabo. You can have bad things happen with one part of an organization that doesn't reflect the entire organization or one individual within the organization. So the Crusaders did not create Freemasonry. 12th State Freemasonry evolved from stonemasonry and stone Masonic guilds. The first argument that there was a connection between the Crusaders and Freemasonry came from a gentleman called Chevalier Andrew Raymond in 1737, but it was most likely an apocryphal story that eventually became the foundation for much of the Masonic, certainly York Rite bodies, which developed throughout the mid-17th and early 18th centuries. Or I guess mid-18th and early 19th centuries it would be. Hello from Wyoming once again. It's great to have you back. I mean, I don't know if Shriner clowns have to, but clowns have to. Yeah, there's actually a warehouse where they have to paint their face paint on a wooden egg, and then it gets registered as a trademark. Chuff, please hit like and subscribe. I don't follow hockey, Yakub. What can I say? Must be a bad Canadian. Not a big fan of morals and dogma. It's way too overrated in terms of non-Masons reading it and thinking that it is some type of great reflection on Freemasonry or reflects Freemasonry. It reflects a single individual's opinion on Freemasonry. Yes, he was influential, but what he wrote in Morals and Dogma and his influence on Scottish Rite, it does not extend to York Rite, to the Shrine, to De Molay, to many of the craft degrees. Its importance in Freemasonry is grossly exaggerated by, in my experience, non-Masons. I don't think so. I don't believe aliens exist, Ryan. But if the aliens did exist, I don't think it would mean the Bible is cooked. I mean, I am not a biblical expert, but I've seen no evidence. I don't think the Bible ever precludes the possibility of aliens existing, um, or says anything about life existing outside of Earth one way or the other. I could be mistaken. But thank you so much, Ryan, for the super chat. That's very kind of you. Legend is saying Yale, Yala, excellent clouds. It has been a while. Excellent clouds. If you are missing my streams, what you can do is when you subscribe, or if you are subscribed, you can turn on the notification bell. That way, whenever I'm streaming, you will find you'll get a notification that I'm streaming. Um, and that way um, and that way you'll never miss any streams that I'm doing. So there you go. That's what I would say for that. Turn on your notification bell. By the way, everybody watching this, please turn on the notification bell. It's incredibly helpful. Well, I mean, I don't think the Bible mentions aliens one way or the other. It doesn't say they do exist or don't exist. I don't think there's anything in the Bible that would automatically exclude the possibility of aliens, but I could be wrong. I'm not an expert theologically. That would be somebody like um I'm not sure. Somebody like um I'm trying to think of a good example of it. Like I don't know what it would mean for the Bible to exclude aliens. I guess if they said something to the effect of like, and God created life exclusively on Earth or something like that. I've never read the Book of Enoch, so I can't speak to it. Chuff Chuff Train, please hit like and subscribe. Um, no, legend. I mean, I don't believe in demons, but Freemasonry is not spirituality in that sense. It's not a religion, so there are no Masonic demons, for example. Um, so maybe, I mean, I'm one who I don't believe aliens exist, for the record. I don't believe aliens exist, but you know, maybe. Well, women, so whether you're Latin, Latina, European, South American, North American, Indigenous, European, Asian, that makes no difference to being a Freemason. We have men of all different races and religions and ethnicities and backgrounds and creeds and languages. We have Spanish speaking Masons and English and French. For women, there is the Order of Women Freemasons. There is also Co-Masonry, which does exist in France. There's also Eastern Star. So the answer is yes. But again, Freemasonry is not going to discriminate based on one's race. And then the gender issue, men or women, it's different organizations, right? There is, again, the Order of Women Freemasons, there's Eastern Star, there's a variety of different organizations within Freemasonry. Even now in the chat, we have Arabic language. So it goes to show Freemasonry. One thing I love about Freemasonry is how universal it is. It welcomes men of all different faiths and beliefs. Hello, Capons. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. Hello, Napoleon. Trish Stratus. Did I say she was my favorite female wrestler? I mean, she probably is. That makes sense. I mean, Canadian, right? So you got to respect that as a Canadian myself. So yeah, I would say Trish Stratus is my favorite female wrestler. Who in Freemasonry inspired me most and why? I'd say my dad. My dad inspired me the most within Freemasonry. So there you go. Well, it depends, Yakub, on the jurisdiction, because every jurisdiction sets different rules. I can tell you my favorite rule comes from the United Grand Lodge of England, which states the policy is basically that they welcome men of, or sorry, it's the gender which you identify as. So if you're assigned female at birth, but you transition to male, um, then you can join the United Grand Lodge of England. And also, the thing I love about their policy the most is that they state any medical procedures or your medical history is nobody's business within the lodge. So they don't get to ask you if you're trans or how you were born, identifying as or assigned gender. Uh, Rather, it's up to you to but basically trans membership is allowed, which I think is the right approach. I would have no problem sitting with a trans member, whether they be, if they're assigned female at birth but transition to male, great. They're still my brother and I still respect them. Or to see them, let's say if it's the other way, assigned male at birth but transition to female, if they join the Order of Women Freemasons. I would consider them part of the Order of Women Freemasons. Um, the King of Burgers. What is the membership to which you refer? Um, Legend, you need to calm down a little bit. You need to relax. Um, no one needs to hide anything. You are what you are. The King of Burgers, I'm not sure what you mean by there's always a price. I mean, things always cost money. Like if you want to join Freemasonry, they have to meet somewhere. Where they meet is going to have, costs associated with it. Um, so yeah, there's always costs associated with things. There's dues. Freemasonry is a self-funded organization primarily through dues. Again, speaking generally, some will have investments, some will get grants, some will have outside revenue sources, but primarily Freemasonry is very often a self-funded organization. Again, it depends on jurisdictions and things of that nature. Um, there are, I mean, as X Clouds points out, and very correctly, Freemasonry is decentralized. There's not a single governing body within Freemasonry that sets the rules. So, for example, you can be in Michigan and attend a Masonic meeting in the afternoon, and then in Illinois and attend a Masonic meeting at night, and then in Indiana and attend a Masonic meeting the next day, and you will see three different rituals under three different jurisdictions with three different Grand Lodges. That really is the beautiful thing about Freemasonry, is the fact that it's not the same everywhere. There is a common understanding, but within that common understanding, there is um, a common understanding, but within that common understanding, there is different interpretations, different purposes, different structures. And the beautiful thing about Freemasonry is that you get the chance to learn how all those different things work and operate. Um, yeah, Legend, you need to calm down. I know you're a member and I appreciate being a member, but being a member doesn't mean you get to not calm down. Based means doing well. If somebody's based, it means they're chill, relaxed, and cool. Cool might be the best way to describe it. Elite Bloodline, I'm on about Freemasonry. That's what I talk about all the time. Please hit like and subscribe. Yes, to my knowledge, he was the one um, member of the Rothschild family that was a Freemason. I don't think anybody else within the Rothschild family was a Freemason. Yes, of my chat, of the channel. At least it's coming out that you are, because you got the green. So, and I appreciate that, but you need to relax a little bit. And Yakub and Legend, don't be talking to each other, just be talking to me. Elite Bloodline. Well, three is an important number within Freemasonry. but so are many numbers important within Freemasonry. From what? From like the YouTube stuff I do? As a general rule, no. Although I am, every now and then if I get like a new product or something from like Patreon, I may give a couple extras to my brothers as a thank you for any support that they provide me. I did not A plus. Please hit like and subscribe. Um, You're more obsessed with it than I am. Honestly, it's non-Masons that seem obsessed with the number 33. The number 33 comes up once in Freemasonry. It's a degree. It's an honorific degree that comes after the 32nd. I've never heard 33 discussed as often as I do when non-Masons are talking. 33rd is really not an important number within Freemasonry. Um, King Baker, hello. Thank you for being here. All right, legend. You're going to get yourself timed out in a second. Some Jewish people have money, some don't. It just depends on who they are and, their success or not success financially in life. So, King Baker, thank you for being here. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having an excellent day. We're talking about Freemasonry. I do these streams every Monday through Friday, usually 1 a.m. and 1 p.m. ish. Um, well, sometimes things are just a coincidence, the way it's experienced. And I answer questions about Freemasonry. I've been a Freemason for 20 years, just about, and I love talking about it. Well, Zane, there you go. That is the first word you heard because it's what I talk about. I'm also doing right now, though, a push-up challenge. I'm going to be doing more push-ups tomorrow, I guess technically today, at 10 a.m. So I hope you guys will, hang out with me for that. Um, I have no idea, David. I don't follow basketball. I don't follow sports as a general rule. I wish I did. I'd probably, I used to follow sports, but it just got so swamped. I haven't had time to follow sports in forever. Um, I always said if God, I mean, maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe he is, and we just don't recognize him. I'm not a reviler of anyone's religious beliefs. So, however it is a brother, or for that matter, just anyone, understands God, then more power to them. The Mr. Re 100, I like that name. Please hit like and subscribe. So, we are not all about money. We are not all about deceiving. You are incorrect, and you're spending way too much time looking at conspiracy theories online. Honestly, Legend, you seem like you're having a bit of a rough night. I think you might need to calm down, maybe try some breathing exercises, maybe talk to a professional. Um, well, Zane, I mean, I guess you've met me. I've been a Freemason for almost 20 years, 19. Excellent. Just talk to me. Don't talk to the people in the chat. When you say what it's about, I mean, it's a civic or community organization that has existed for almost third degree tomorrow. That's awesome, Minotaur. All right, legend. No more talking all in caps and just relax. You're gonna get yourself in a timeout. It's a civic or community organization. I mean, the fundamental belief at Freemasonry or within Freemasonry, if you want to describe Freemasons having beliefs, is that it is worth our time to hang out with one another. It's worth our time or spending time with one another is worthwhile. Not even so much what we do, just the idea of spending time with one another, enjoying one another's company, is worthwhile endeavor. So yeah, um, Oreos and a big glass of strawberry milk sounds awesome. So it's been a civic community group, and like I said, it's existed for approximately 350 years, give or take. And it's a community group. We enjoy each other's company, we hang out together, we perform rituals and ceremonies as a way to create bonds of brotherhood and to bring new Masons in. We sometimes do charitable work and charitable engagement, or engagements, community service. We help one another as much as we can while also trying to help the community at large. So, King, how do you get into Freemasonry? You have to be one, ask one. What you do is you find a Masonic lodge within your area, make sure it's legitimate by asking to which Grand Lodge they're associated, and you approach them and express your interest in Freemasonry. And from there on, you get to know them, they get to know you, and you proceed from that point forward. Um, yes, it is. well, it's a conspiracy theory. Freemasons do not worship Satan. Freemasonry is not a religion. So we do not worship Satan, nor do we worship any being. Individual Masons have their peculiar or specific religious beliefs. They may be Christian, Jewish, Hindu, Sikh, whatever it might be, and they will determine their, and based upon that, they, they will have their own religious beliefs, and they're obviously encouraged to follow those. Freemasonry is not a religion, and again, there is no Masonic worship of any sort, say satanic or otherwise. It's a civic group. It's like asking football players on a football team, what do they worship? They'll all have their own beliefs and their own religious beliefs. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. We do not worship the owl Moloch. I've never heard of the Moloch owl until I started streaming and people told me Freemasons worship it. Never seen it. I mean, I have seen some Masonic crests with an owl on it, but that, to my knowledge, represents Athena, the goddess of wisdom in ancient Greece. Yakub, neither, because we do not worship either. Legend, I'm glad nobody's in your walls, but I think Legend, I'm going to have to put you in a bit of a timeout. No, the Master Masons do not give orders. That's not how it works. You can be the worshipful master of the lodge, and what you can do is, what you can do within that context is you can run a Masonic meeting, and you can, for example, request a vote on a motion, or, tell somebody that they need to be quiet so somebody else can speak, stuff like that. But they don't give orders, to people in the general public is a virtue of being a worshipful master. Well, sometimes it's going to happen, right? And nobody has to be a member, by the way. I'm grateful for every member, but being a member is not going to stop me from timing you out if I think you need to calm down a little bit. King Baker, there is no Masons in the Grove. Maverick, Freemasons have no powers, so I'm very sorry. Yes, it was Charles Stone. Charles Stone, please hit like and subscribe. Andrew WW9, please hit like and subscribe. There was a gavel. I talked about that on a live stream. There's also a Masonic pin seen in the audience. So I thought that was really cool as well. I did, and I love that episode with the stonecutters. I thought it was really, really cool. Yeah, no, I mean, we have Masons who are Christians, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, Sikh, whatever it might be. So there's some conspiracy theories that say you can't be a Christian and a Freemason. That's just not true. I know many Christian Freemasons. If I give one piece of advice, just keep showing up. Remember why you love Freemasonry, and don't sweat the small things. Yes, Freemasonry is different from Scientology. Scientology, to my understanding, is more of a religion. Freemasonry is not a religion. It's a civic organization. But I suppose you could be a Scientologist and join Freemasonry. I don't see why not. I know many Muslims who are Freemasons, Zane. I know many Muslims who are Freemasons, several in Dearborn, for example. In Morocco, Freemasonry, I understand, is fairly well known and fairly popular. There's even Masonic lodges in Jordan. Highlander, that's incredibly kind of you. Thank you. I assure you, most Freemasons are actually way cooler than me. I'm probably one of the least cool Masons out there. I'm the most handsome Mason, but one of the least cool Masons out there. Well, there's a lot of different reasons why people would do that, King Baker. Primarily, though, I've always viewed it as people latch onto conspiracy theories because they're struggling in their own lives. It may be obvious the way they're struggling, it may be less obvious. On the outside, they may seem to be doing very well, but they will have emotional and psychological issues or substance use issues. They may be hiding them, but they still have them. And instead of looking in the mirror and dealing with it themselves, because that's hard to do, they latch onto conspiracy theories and spend all their time researching nonsense, because they can feel as though, hey, if I'm posting stuff on the internet, I must be doing something right. And I get 50 likes, even if mentally within I'm kind of falling apart. There's no such thing as a Taliban Freemason, Dinah. You need to calm down a little bit, or you're going to find yourself timed out in a second. Um, you can ask a YouTube question. Go ahead, Nilburn. Please hit like and subscribe. Um, Harsh Sharma, please hit like and subscribe as well. Um, all right, Dina's getting in a timeout. You might get yourself, not that you would care, but banned at some point. What's your YouTube question, Nilburn? If you're going to ask me a YouTube question, then the least you could do is subscribe to me on YouTube. But what's the question? I'll do my best to answer it. Harsh, though, thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Nice try, Mr. Tubby702. Please hit like and subscribe. I'd very much appreciate it. I had a 33rd. Well, they're not. I've known many 33rd degree Masons. I never met any 33rd degree Mason who's into sorcery. I don't believe in sorcery, so no. I mean, I don't believe in magic or the supernatural. Well, the number 33, there's no significance to the number 33 outside of the fact that it is um, after 32. It's the next degree in the Scottish Rite. It's the final degree in Scottish Rite. It's an honorary degree, but it's not a particularly important number. It just happens to come after 32. The number three, I mean, there's three principal officers in a lodge, a worshipful master, a senior warden, a junior warden. There's three, well-known architectural orders, and Freemasonry borrows a ton from architecture. Ionic, Doric, and Corinthian. Some jurisdictions, three is actually their quorum number. You can have a meeting so long as you have at least three members. Other places, it's seven. Um, so YouTube doesn't like you sharing links, Nilbert. You have to ask YouTube why. Psycho Edit, what's up with you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. The way it's experienced, you seem obsessed with the number 33. I've never heard anybody bring up the number 33 to me until I started live streaming, and non-Masons told me I was obsessed with the number 33, which always I found really amusing. No, it's just a number after 32. Every Mason, Jess and Harris, will have a different kind of belief system. Some may be deists, some may be theists, many are Christian, many are secular. They all believe in a supreme being. However, what that supreme being is or how they, operate, they could be Muslim, Christian, Jewish. I would say I'm probably a deist, might be the best way to describe me. Um, Asking what Masons believe is like asking what football players believe. It's a civic group, it's a community group, it's not a religion. There is no prescribed beliefs to be a Freemason. Get yourself to sleep, Mr. Courtney, but thank you for being here. I'm grateful for you hanging out. So it's always a topic because I am a Freemason, Cat Wilk. And so I love talking about it. I started this channel to promote the ways Freemasonry was and is relevant to the communities in which it's located. Um, and so that's something I'm very grateful to get the chance to do. If you want to help me do that, please hit like, please hit subscribe, and consider doing a super chat. You're welcome, Justin. In New Zealand, I'd love to visit New Zealand. Roger, please hit like and subscribe because I know you guys have a lot of Masonic lodges. I don't know how many, but it'd be incredible to visit. I think it'd be really, really fun to visit some of your Masonic lodges in New Zealand. So, knock on wood, maybe soon. Maybe soon I'll get to visit you guys. Um, Lazy, are you saying you're a member of Tubal Lodge number 504 FNAM? In which case, welcome, Lazy H. Please hit like and subscribe. I'm a member of a whole bunch of Masonic lodges, one out of Israel, one out of Texas. I'm currently the worshipful master of Border Cities Lodge number 554 out of Windsor, Ontario. Yes, I've been a Freemason for just about 20 years, and I'm very proud. King Baker, I don't know what you mean by that about power. I mean, do you mean supernatural power? In which case, no. Do you mean political power? In which case, no. Do you mean like there is no power that comes with being a Freemason? Anybody who promises you that you'll get power is lying to you. Um, Well, Justin, I mean, not about anything political or religious or spiritual or anything like that. That's what Freemasonry is. There are what you often call modes of recognition, which are the quote unquote secrets of Freemasonry, but those don't carry any power or influence or any real use outside of within Freemasonry. The example I always give is if you're part of a family and you have a family recipe, um, that is something that is knowledge that is hidden within the family. That doesn't mean or translate into power outside of it. It's just a family secret, a family recipe. Um, I mean, that's a very broad question, Roger. You have to narrow it down a little bit. Ultimately, at its core, there are two ways to create bonds of brotherhood through shared experiences or shared knowledge. The rites and ceremonies and rituals within Freemasonry create bonds of brotherhood between members, past, present, and future, through shared experiences. We all go through the ritual, and therefore we all feel bonded to one another because we've all been through something similar. Nothing within any rite or ceremony is illegal, immoral, or against one's civic, religious, or moral responsibilities. Um, we do not do any kind of warlock type stuff. Um, And I am so no, I mean, I don't believe in elites in general. I think there's no such thing as an elite. I think there's just conflicting areas of power and influence. But no, Freemasons don't have any power over the world. And I'm not Skull and Bones. But yes, I've been a Freemason for almost 20 years. Okay, I mean, you don't really think about in terms of highest Freemasons, Cat Wilk. I mean, there are different ranks, there are different offices and degrees. But certainly, I mean, maybe you took care of a past Grand Master who was responsible for Freemasonry in Ontario at one point, democratically elected. But whomever it is, I mean, nothing but respect to you, Cat Wilk, for taking care of the elderly, whether they're Masons or otherwise. It's a tough job, I know, dealing with people nearing the end of their life or who need care at an elderly age. So, nothing but respect to you and all the work that you're doing. Um, Nothing, Caesar. I've never seen anything depraved within Freemasonry, and nothing that ever made me scared within Freemasonry. And no, we do not partake in humiliation rituals. Excellent, and you know that. And Caesar, you know what I'm going to answer to those questions. So you keep asking me the same questions or the similar type of questions. I keep telling you the same type of answers. I'll say it again, but you're getting very close to getting banned. There's nothing in Freemasonry that is illegal, immoral, against one's civic, religious, or moral responsibilities. There is nothing humiliating about Freemasonry, and there's nothing depraved about Freemasonry. Um, so thoughts on the lottery? I mean, I think if you want to do it for fun, go ahead, but keep in mind your odds of winning are very low and never gamble with money that you can't afford to lose. Um, so when it comes to the rank, it's best not to think about things in terms of a rank. King Baker, the best way to think about it is offices and degrees. I'm a third degree Master Mason. I'm also an 18th degree Scottish Rite Mason, and I have the office of Worshipful Master and Past Master. Well, Caesar, I'll say it one more time. Within Freemasonry, there's nothing illegal, immoral, against one's civic, religious, or moral or familiar responsibilities, and nothing depraved. So if you keep asking similar questions around, claiming Freemasons or asking Freemasons doing illegal stuff, you're going to get yourself banned. I mean, some may not. It would depend on their personal preferences and also how you define drugs, right? Because alcohol is a drug, and I know many Masons drink. I don't. Whatever you're doing, what matters is you're doing it responsibly in compliance with the law and not in a problematic way. Um, Whether I was Jewish or wasn't, it wouldn't make a difference. Um, Freemasonry has many members of many different faiths and ethnicities and beliefs. Um, they do, King Baker, you get used to it. Well, part of joining Freemasonry is it's a leap of faith. So I tend not to give a lot of examples about what happens in Masonic rituals because I don't want to spoil it. if you're planning on joining. But also, Masonic rituals differ based on the jurisdiction you're in. So everybody in Ontario goes through the same ritual, but it's something different in Indiana. So if I start telling you what happens in our Masonic rituals, you may go in expecting things, and then you get a different ritual depending on where you live. I always say within Freemasonry, there's nothing illegal, immoral. None of these rituals are humiliation rituals or anything like that. Beyond that, there's a little bit of a leap of faith. You get to know the brethren, you get to know the guys, you don't join right away. And then once you're comfortable, you can look at applying to join. But there is a leap of faith. The best way to just say it, though, is you're learning about the craft and you're learning about the symbolism of the craft, and everything has a symbolic meaning to it. Um, he should, Caesar, if he knows that you're a Freemason and, knows there's that conflict, he absolutely should. I think more and more often now that is the case. It depends again on where you live and what the rules are. But if you're a police officer, you'd have to recuse yourself in the investigation. So logically, you would have to recuse yourself as a judge. So yeah. You don't have to, I mean, you don't have to be a theist. You have to respect the fact that there may be theists who are part of your degree or part of your lodge, but you don't have to be a theist yourself. Well, Freemasonry, call it the craft, right? In honor of our stone Masonic brethren historically who were craftsmen, who were tradesmen. Um, well, it applies to secret knowledge within Freemasonry, certainly. I mean, for example, these Masonic symbols here, right? The squared compasses with the G, these tools, this past master's jewel, it has a specific meaning to me as a Freemason that others it will not have. But in the same way, your family will have that as well. Like your family will have symbols and sayings and inside jokes and maybe family recipes and traditions that are known to your family that are not known outside of it. Right. Yo, Maple, welcome once again. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Well, I mean, I suppose what matters most is if he was happy. You can be happy with a family, you can be happy staying single your whole life, you can be happy very wealthy, or you can be happy very poor. What matters is your happiness. What matters more than your happiness is the positive impact you leave on the world. At least that is my humble opinion for whatever it's worth. So there you go. A family coat of arms, Timothy Carroll, absolutely. By the way, if you guys are just joining, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Um, Probably not. I mean, as a general rule, no, Caesar, but I would need to know a little bit more information. Like, was he arrested for some type of civil disobedience? Like a Martin Luther King situation, then I might consider it. But probably not. Certainly because, well, like again, I would need to know a little bit more. As a general rule, no, because if he's been arrested, then you need the criminal court system to take over. He should have a lawyer provided to him through the state if he can't afford one. If, however, it was a rare case where, let's say, it is a civil disobedience of some sort, then maybe, it's possible. But I would say more than likely not. Again, there may be special circumstances, though. Cordes, it depends how crazy. I'm not going to accept crazy questions that are stupid, so try it. Worst that can happen is you get banned from the stream, or at least put in a timeout. OMZ, it would not matter if I was or wasn't. Freemasonry does not discriminate against homosexuals. I've known gay Freemasons. They're as much my brother as anyone else. Well, Ty, I mean, if you think that maybe you have a mental health issue or mental health concern that could be diagnosed, or maybe should be diagnosed, or is presently undiagnosed, I would suggest speaking to a medical practitioner. Um, when you say functional benefits, I mean, it really depends on the Mason and his situation. Like, my grandfather was a Freemason. He passed away before I was born. By joining Freemasonry, I feel closer to him, more connected to him. So that is like a functional benefit that I get that um, I wouldn't get anywhere else. But ultimately, and I mean, there's the history of it. It has a really unique history that no one else has. And if you like being part of groups with unique history, you get that from Freemasonry. But ultimately, the benefit of Freemasonry, like, it's not about the functionality, it's about the love you have for it. My favorite song is Simple Man. You may hear that very same song as me, and you may hate it, you may like it, you may love it as much as I do, but ultimately, you and I are both hearing the exact same song, and yet we're having a different reaction to it. I love it, you may not. At its core, Freemasonry is like that, right? I respond to Freemasonry in a way that others don't. Some do, some love it as much as me, many people don't. Either way, that's perfectly fine. Freemasonry is not special. What's special is the relationship between the member and the lodge itself. Um, I mean, and again, when you say practical, listening to your favorite song has practical benefits for your health and well-being, right? Going to a Masonic meeting and feeling better has practical health benefits. I'm sure it lowers blood pressure, et cetera, et cetera. Um, I mean, if a Freemason was homeless, there are some Masonic buildings that do have space for people to stay over, so long as it's up to the proper code. And that depends. I know in the Philippines, there are some buildings where you can stay overnight, but it's not common. However, I've argued in the past that, Masonic secretaries should have a list of brethren with spare bedrooms and spare houses where they can stay. If they, if a brother, let's say, has a house fire or gets divorced or has an emergency and needs a place to stay, they should have a list of brothers who have spare bedrooms, the quality of those bedrooms, any information like if it's on a second floor. So that way, if a brother calls the secretary and says, I need a place to stay, I'm being evicted, I'm getting divorced, my house burned down, the secretary has a list of places that he can go. And I've also seen many Masonic brethren who managed to avoid being homeless because the Masonic Lodge assists them by giving them, benevolence to help them pay their rent or whatever it might be. Um, well, again, but every group has symbology. Every group has symbols. I mean, the difference is the hidden knowledge is hidden within Freemasonry. It's not practical outside of it. Knowing, for example, knowing, for example, what the G means is not going to help me become prime minister, right? It's just a Masonic piece of knowledge. Um, Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'm not going to be mentioning what I have on this stream in terms of my place, but I would let my Masonic brothers know. Um, I mean, I've known people, believe it or not, Caesar, who are both Knights of Columbus and Freemasons. Yes, there are some Knights of Columbus who are Freemasons. The official stance of the Catholic Church, quote unquote, is somewhat, or I guess not somewhat, but anti-Masonic. However, that doesn't mean that within Freemasonry we have any beef with the Knights of Columbus. Yeah, Freemasonry is not Captain America. Freemasonry is not political organization. We have, Republican and Democrat and liberal and conservative and left and right wing Masons. I care. That's why I'm here. You don't have to care, but I care. I hope everybody who's joining us, if you are new to the stream, please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back on tomorrow, 10 a.m. Or today, technically 10 a.m. for our push-up challenge, the very final day. We've got to do 150 push-ups. You can maybe do them with me if you want, if you think you can. Um, well, the Knights of Columbus, I don't think they're part of a diocese. They're just they're a civic group. They're a civil group that was not started by, but adopted by the Catholic Church. I forget, I don't know much about their history, but they're no different than the Elks, the Moose, the Masons, with the exception that they have a religious component to them. You have to be Catholic to join. Would I go if there was another crusade? I do find the term dorks kind of funny legend. I do find the term dorks. Um, would I go if there's another crusade? I mean, no, because I'm not necessarily a Christian. I mean, I might want to see it because it'd be fascinating, but it'd also be terrifying. Crusades in the time of Crusades in the time of nuclear weapons seems terrifying, more than anything else. So I hope we don't ever have any crusades, especially with the nature of modern weapons. Well, samurai does need to relax. Usually, if you're saying relax, you need to relax. Josh, you need to relax too. You're going to find yourself in a timeout. I'm doing well the daily. Um, well, fortified, hit like and subscribe. How about we say hell yeah to the like and subscribe button? Um, well, I mean, there's breathing exercises that can help with relaxation. Might be worth trying. I have no legs alive till death, so I can't do a backflip. But you can hit like and subscribe. I mean, I'm not a fan of spiritual growth. I mean, I think it's helped me grow in a variety of ways. It's encouraged within me temperance, which is something I struggle with. Um, it's taught with me patience. It's helped me become a better leader, a better public speaker. It's encouraged me to travel, which gets different perspectives. So I've learned a lot from Freemasonry. There's no question. To the extent to which you want to view it as spiritual, I guess you have to kind of decide for yourself. Yes, the daily, I have no legs. I was born missing my legs. But that's okay. I get this cool wheelchair. Um, yes, born missing both of my legs. Fortified, hit that like and subscribe button. I am over 3,600 subscribers, so thank you for that. Um, we're going to end this stream shortly. However, I'll be back on at 10 a.m. tomorrow, or today technically, for the last of the push-up challenge, and then on again at 1 p.m. Um, I mean, sure, but not completely. I mean, I suppose any group in theory can be used as a platform to organize a political movement, but it shouldn't be because Freemasonry is not political. So it'd be a very unstable, very poor platform. You'd be better off just joining a political party or political group. Um, so there are no difference. There is no such thing as a white lodge, or for that matter, a black lodge anymore. I think you're thinking of Prince Hall. I've known white Prince Hall Masons, and I've known a ton of black AF and AM Masons. So there are, I mean, there's a different history to it, obviously, and the ceremonies can be different, but the brotherhood is the same. The respect I have for them is the same. And whether you are a Prince Hall Mason or AF and AM Mason, you have my respect either way. So women can join Freemasonry catwalk or cat Wilk. They can join the Eastern Star, the Order of Women Freemasons in Ontario, and there is co-masonry that exists in the Grand Orient. And there are liberal Freemason orders as well. No, I mean, you can talk about Freemasonry all you want. Here I am talking about it. So there you go. Captain America says right on. You know what I say right on to? A 99-cent super chat and hitting the like and subscribe button. Um, Quickie. I've got a quickie, Justin Harris. Though I need to get new casters on the front of it, so my chair kind of rattles when I wheel right now. I got a wonky front wheel. No, Anthony Smith, Freemasonry is not a word for Satanism, nor is it a fancy word for Satanism. I do not have a fez, Caesar, because I'm not a Shriner. But I'd like to maybe join the Shrine one day. Who knows when? We shall see. Jessica, you're going to get yourself sent away for a bit. I don't understand why people would do these things, but okay. Soda, I mean, I call it pop, but I do like soda as well. Um, I mean, I don't know why the Freemasons approached you. Freemasons are not secret. I mean, I'm here talking about it, and we don't approach people or recruit people. You have to express your interest in joining. You have to join Freemasonry of your own free will and accord, not because you're being recruited into it. Um, for that, Cat Look, I'm not going to tell you. You got to join. Trevor, I got a big gap. Please hit like and subscribe. I very much appreciate it. We are going to be ending this stream shortly, but thank you for helping me get over 3,600 subs. I'm hoping, um, yes, they're right in the open. I'm hoping to get over 4,000 subs by the end of this month. So it'll be tight, but we can do it. If we can get, let's say, like 12 on average per day, we should get over 400. Um, You got to find a Masonic lodge within your area and approach them, express your interest in joining. No, Alec, Freemasonry is not a synagogue, nor is it a synagogue of Satan. Freemasonry is not a religious order. Um, that's how you start the process. That's not how you end it, but that's how you start. And that's completely up to you. Um, no, well, I mean, Josh, some Freemasons may be gay. Most of my experience are straight, but Freemasonry does not discriminate whether you are gay or straight. Once again, Alec, no, Freemasonry is not a synagogue, nor is it a synagogue of Satan. I've known some military veterans in my Masonic lodge, none from the Marine Corps, but there are some veterans who are within Freemasonry, and there are many who are not. Many Masons are not. They come from all walks of life, from janitors and plumbers to Marines to presidents to unemployed to retired to athletes to janitors to lawyers to anything in between. Um, yes, it's not relevant. What's relevant is, are you good men and honorable? That's what's on the agenda. Um, Absolutely, as Yo Maple says it, that is correct. I have never heard the phrase language of the bird. Well, there is an initiation ceremony. Um, there's an the way I describe it is there's an application process and an initiation ceremony. Application process comes first. You get to know the lodge and the members therein. They get to know you. You get to ask them questions. They learn more about why you want to join, and you proceed from there. Um, and then there's an initiation ceremony. And through that ceremony, it helps bond you to the members, past, present, and future. I'm very sorry that you're heavy, Legend Jesus. You need to relax a little bit, I think. That's always a good idea. We're going to be ending this stream, and if you can barely move, maybe you need to talk to a doctor. Um, I think he might have been. I don't know for sure if he was or not, but I know he was a Freemason. Joseph Smith was. All right, guys, we're going to be ending this stream. I'll be back on in about 8 hours, 10 a.m. for the last 150 push-ups. Everybody have an excellent, excellent night. No, Legend, you're not going to die. If you're concerned, you need to talk to a doctor. All right, talk to you guys later. Yes.